Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that know me, hi, welcome back. For those of you that don't, my name is Kelsey Johnson, and today I'm really excited to actually do a February wrap-up and talk about my March TBR list. That probably will be wrong, but that's okay. So I'm excited. I haven't done a wrap up yet, so let's see how this goes. So, starting with February, I read 4 books all the way through, and then I got halfway through a 5th book, but the 5th book was supposed to stretch into this first week of March, so that was fine. In total, I read 2,111 pages, which doesn't really sound like that much to me, and especially when I consider that one of my books was 751 of those pages. That's okay. It's still a lot of pages for most people, so I'm trying not to let myself get in my head about that. Anyways, yeah, so let's just jump right in. So I'm currently a part of a Throne of Glass reread group, and so in February we read all the way through Crown of Midnight, which of course I read before because Sarah J. Maas. So of course for me this is a 5 out of 5. I am going to be posting a reread video. I'm doing it for the whole Throne of Glass series. I may wait and record them and post them separately. I may be doing them all together. I haven't really figured that part out yet, but I am doing a reread reaction. That's a lot of reread. Anyways, doing a reread reaction. 5 stars, YA fantasy. I really like this book, even though sometimes there are plot holes. But I do really like this book. I like the characters. I think certain things suck. I feel bad about how things get handled by certain characters, but hey, it is what it is. It's a YA fantasy. I love fantasy. I love YA fantasy. But I really, really like this book. I love getting to dig into Selena as a character. I love what it builds up to at the end. And so if you haven't read this series, obviously this is the 2nd book in the series. The first one is Throne of Glass, so go check it out. This one was 418 pages, so this is a good way to kind of start off my reading with a bang. So then the 2nd book I read, I'm just looking at my stack of books and I'm just like, man, did I read anything that was not written by Sarah J. Maas this month? The answer is yes. 1 book. So then I reread A Court of Thorns and Roses. Sarah J. Maas, obviously 5 stars, YA fantasy, separate series. First book in the series. I have posted a book review about this one, so go check it. Go check it out if you're interested. I really like this. It's a reread. It's the first book. It kind of pulls you in. And then, yeah, I actually was rereading this whole series, and then I stopped because my next book came out, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep waiting to start it. So it's understandable. This one is 419 pages, and I really, really recommend that you read it. So there's that one. And then I actually listened to an audiobook. It is Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. And I gave it a 4 out of 5. I was reading that for my Marked with an M Spooky Book Club, which is a book club I'm a part of where we do spooky books all year, which is actually really fun because I like reading these books, and I'm also finding these authors that I've never read before, and I'm all about it. So that's exciting. I am going to be actually posting a review for that one shortly. So there is that. It is basically set in Mexico. Not basically. It is set in Mexico. The main character, Noemi, is traveling to this English estate where her cousin has married into this wealthy English family, and she kind of digs into this mess. It's a big mess, but Noemi is very strong-willed, very stubborn, and doesn't really comply to the social norms, which I think is great because, yeah, don't. But, you know, it's set in a time where women aren't supposed to be so outspoken, and they're not supposed to do this, and they're not supposed to do that. Noemi just kind of throws that all back in everybody's faces. So it's a really interesting look at everything. So hopefully you would like it. I really liked it. I will warn you, it is a gothic novel. So true to the gothic style, it does take a while to build up, but you will hit a point, I hope, if you like it as much as I did, where all of a sudden you don't want to put it down. But if gothic novels are not your type of book, please, please, please don't feel pressured to read this book. But it was super good, 4 out of 5 stars. I listened to it in audiobook form, but I still counted it as pages, so then I looked up the paperback, and that's 301 pages, so that was awesome. And then came my biggest book of the month. The final book that I finished for this month was the highly anticipated release, A Court of Silver Flames. Again, like I said, it really feels like I didn't read anything that wasn't by Sarah J. Maas. And you'll understand why I say that when I show you the last book. But I took on this beast. And I will be doing a review with spoilers in the future. Not right now. I gave this like a 4 out of 5 stars. I was really leaning between 3.5 to 4, which I'm sure is not a popular opinion. And I will get all into that in my review. So, you know, that's coming. This is a part of the Court of Thorns and Roses series. This is technically considered book 4. So, you know, that kind of is what it is. It was good. They're always good. It's just different levels of good, you know? But now I have to face this dilemma. So, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, keep your eyes out for this book review. Because it's coming. I still am kind of processing my feelings. So, it'll be a couple weeks. So, those of you who haven't read it yet, you'll have time. But that was 751 pages. So that was a good chunk of pushing me through. And then this book, I fell behind reading this one because I was so into A Court of Flames and Roses. Oh my goodness, A Court of Silver Flames. And so we started Heir of Fire in our reread group. I was supposed to really only have like not that much of the book left, but I have about half, maybe a little less than half. So I'm catching up. I'm scheduled to finish this on this month. So this is kind of a like half of it was February. In February, I was supposed to read to page 386, but I only read to 222. So I only added the 222 pages that I read to my page count, which gets me to the 2,111. And so I will be counting the rest of it from 222 or 223 on to the end of the book for March. But yeah, that was my February. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, I don't normally like reading one author, which kind of is why I like my spooky book club. So I'm hoping that I can branch out a little bit, especially now that I've already kind of gone through that one. Okay, so March. So I was looking at how many books I've realistically been reading, and it's been about 4 a month. But I need to stop saying I've been looking at all the books that I've realistically been reading the last 2 months, which I've been reading about 4 a month. So about a book a week, which isn't awful. And I was thinking about like, okay, well, you know, I'm reading Air of Fire right now, and we're going to start Queen of Shadows this month. And so I was like, okay, realistically, let's set it at 5 books, because maybe I won't finish Queen of Shadows this month. Like maybe we'll split it up and it'll take till April. So I have 5 books that I'm going to try and read. Now, knowing me, there's one of them on here that I'm worried will not get read, because this is attempt bajillion, it feels like, for it. So, without further ado, my March TBR. So first and foremost, like I mentioned, I'm going to finish Air of Fire. Wow. This is my predicted 5 out of 5 stars. Because it's a YA. Because it's a YA fantasy. And it's part of the Throne of Glass series. So, Air of Fire, book 1. It's going to be done by Sunday. I'll figure it out. It'll get done. That's book 1. And then book 2 is actually another audiobook. Not all my spooky books are gonna be audiobooks. I have an Audible subscription, so I figure I might as well use it. And then I can listen to it on the way to work and when I'm working out and blah, 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 blah. And so the book that I'm going to read for my spooky book club is called Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I hope I pronounced that right. It's 384 pages. I'm predicting this to be a 4 to 5 star read, because so far that's kind of been where I've fallen-ish with my spooky book club reads. So I'm hoping that'll be where it's at, and then of course I'm going to be doing that as an audiobook, but the pages still count. So that'll be exciting. So there's a book I'm actually going to go pick up today. I am in another book club. I've got to stop joining book clubs, guys. It's going to kill me. I'm in another book club, and we are actually going to read The Cousins by Karen McManus. If any of you guys follow Angela Ann on YouTube or author Angela Ann on Instagram, if you don't, you should. She started a Patreon, and she's doing a book club, and that's our book for March. And I'm really excited because this has been on my like want to read list. I think I asked for it for Christmas and didn't get it, which is like a bummer. My parents, I mean, I can't complain. They bought me a vacuum. I was really excited. And they bought me pans. I was really excited. And they got me like 4 new books. So just all in all, I came out on top. But of course, like the one that becomes book club is the one I need to go buy. So I'm going to go try and do that today. My boyfriend does not know that. He will know when we get in the car. I'll be like, hey, let's go to the bookstore. And he'll be like, whatever. So we're going to do that before the mask mandate ends here in Texas. And so I'm going to pick that up. It says online, because I was bad and I looked it up on what did I look it up on? Goodreads. I'm a mess. I looked it up on Goodreads, and it says it is 337 pages. So that'll be exciting. It is a, cattail. It is a 4-star read predictor. Sometimes the young adult thrillers for me are not as good as like actual thrillers. So I'm hoping that I'm proven wrong and it's a 5-star, but I'm predicting it at a 4-star read. The last 2 books that I want to read this February, or not February, what? The last 2 books that I'm going to read for March, for my March TBR, are Queen of Shadows. So I know as soon as we finish Heir of Fire, we're going to start Queen of Shadows. I don't know, you know, this is when they start to get a lot longer, so I don't know if we'll finish it all in March. We might, so fingers crossed that we do, because that would be really cool to have knocked 2 of them out in 1 month. But, you know, this, again, predicted 5-star read. It is 648 pages, and so don't know if we'll finish it, but I would be totally on board with that. So that's one. And then the last book I'm going to try to read is a book that I have currently been trying to read on my TBR for 4 months, or this will be my 4th month. So I started it in December, and then I tried again in January, and then I tried again in February, and now we're here. And I feel bad because it was our spooky book club, and I also thought, like, I picked this up before it was my spooky book club book. So I was really excited when Spooky Book Club was going to read it. And that is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. And I don't know. I don't know what my deal is, you guys. Like, this is, I'm almost at, like, just not finishing, like, taking it out and coming back to it at another point. Probably if I don't get through it this month, that's what I'll do. But I just feel like I should really like this book, and I'm just not into it. I am currently 242 pages in, and it's 720 pages total. Right now, I'm definitely leaning towards more of a 3-star read because I have attempted it. But, you know, there is still a lot of book left, so that could change. It could be a 4. It could be a 5. Who knows? It probably won't be a 5, but it could be a 4. So, yeah. I've got some big books to read, but, you know, who knows? I've also got pretty much this entire bookshelf to read as well. So that's where I'm at for my March reads. I am going to be trying to do a, like, pages read in March tracker as well, like I did for February, except I'm going to try and make it in my bullet journal, so we'll see how that goes. And if it does well, then I will put it in my March wrap-up portion at the end of the month. But yeah, are you reading any of the same books as me? Are there any books that you think I would really like to check out? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because that helps it start to circulate around the bookish community. And I will see you guys down in the comments. Bye!